Hello, everyone. Hello, 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 hello. Come on in and begin to share and like, please. Oh my God. I took a week off, guys, just a little bit. I had to get some things together, and unfortunately, I'm having a problem with one of my things. But in any case, you know what? I'm just going to keep going anyway. Hey, Steph. Thanks for coming in. How are you? All right, ladies. Well, we're just going to talk about today. Let's talk about what's zapping your joy. It's a lot of things that's out there, and we're going to just talk a little bit about that as moms and just everyday workers and women in general. We allow a lot of things to zap our joy. Now, my name is Felicia, and I am your number one joy jewel. And you who have come on with me tonight, you are my honorary joy jewels. So, again, I want you to like and share. And we're just going to talk a little bit about what is zapping our joy. The number one thing that zaps our joy is complaining. And unfortunately, we tend to do that quite a bit if we don't catch ourselves. As women, we can complain about the kids, the dog, the husband, the job. We can complain about just about anything. Yes, we can. But we really have to watch what comes out of our mouth, because what comes out of our mouth actually forms the life that we have. And we don't want to do that. So we want to learn how not to complain. That's the number one thing I think that as women we tend to do a lot of. The other thing is procrastination. Now, I know I can procrastinate. I don't know about you guys, but I can be a procrastinator. And when I do that, it really can zap my joy. Yeah, it causes me to get frustrated and all of those things, because you procrastinate and you don't do things in a timely manner. And when you're not doing things in a timely manner, then that causes you to not walk in joy. I mean, again, that frustration piece is absolutely epic. It can really just again zap you. And one of the other things is, and those of us who are people of God, we know we shouldn't be doing this, but unfortunately sometimes we do, and that's called gossip. We can gossip, and that can actually just take away from your can take your joy. Well, I'm sorry, my phone is just doing all kind of things today. But yeah, that gossiping, manufacturing gossip, or words that tear down the reputation of others will never add joy to your life. You feel like it will sometimes in the moment, when you're talking about sister so and so, or that person that's next to you at work. You want to talk about them and gossip about them. And 9 times out of 10, if you really examine yourself, you will find that once you've done that, you are not as joyful. It takes something away from you. Gossip absolutely never ever adds to you. So that's something that we don't want to do. That's a joy zapper. Approval seeking. Some of us have a tendency to always want everybody to like us. And the truth of the matter is, nobody is likable by 100% of people. We just are not. It's just not going to happen. So we shouldn't be seeking the approval of everybody around us. We just need to seek the approval, first of all, of God. And when we find out who we are, and we can like our own selves, because a lot of times, when you are seeking approval from other people, what the real issue is that you don't like yourself. You're not happy with who you are, and you need to work on yourself. And as women, I think a lot of times that's something I know that we need to do. We need to work on loving ourselves first and foremost, because I'm so sorry. I don't know what's going on with this phone. But yeah, we need to work on loving ourselves, because if we don't love ourselves and if we're not comfortable with who we are, then we are seeking approval from other people. And at the end of the day, their approval really doesn't mean anything. And now the fourth thing is not keeping your word. You find out, yeah, we can't love, yeah, right. We can't love anyone else if we don't love ourselves. Not keeping your word. We find if we don't keep our word, then many times that can cause us to zap our joy. Don't make promises you can't keep. It's much better to say nothing at all than to say that you are going to do something and then not do it. It keeps your joy. When we're able to be truthful with ourselves and truthful with other people, that's when we're able to really have joy. And as parents, sometimes when we're talking to our children and we tell our children that we're going to do something for them and we're not able to do it, how many of us as moms, grandmothers, and we find ourselves not able to fulfill that? Now, most of the time, that's because something else has come up. But even in that, it takes your joy away. Yeah, it takes your joy when you're like, oh, baby, I was going to take you here, but this happened and I'm not able to. A bill may have come up. Another issue have come up, and I can't be in two places at once, and I have to choose this other place over being able to take you there. That can actually deal with your emotions. So, a lot of times just not keeping your word, and whether again that's something that's within your control or out of your control, you want to try to keep your word at all times. Negative self-talk. Now, how many of us deal with that? I know many of us do. As women, we deal with the negative self-talk. When we're watching so many of these women on TV and we think that, they're perfect, but not realizing that they have had all kind of plastic surgery. They've had all types of um, with people to help them out, makeup and all of this kind of stuff that we may not necessarily um, have access to. But when you look at these women on TV and they look so quote unquote perfect, and we look at ourselves sometimes and we don't see ourselves as being perfect, it is horrible. It is horrible. And no, I'm not a pastor. No, I'm not. But those are things that can really cause you to not have joy, as that negative talk. When you're always comparing yourself with the woman that's sitting next to you, you don't feel like you look as cute as she does, or you don't have the shape that she has, you don't make the money that she makes. She got on red bottoms and you got on Payless, and you feel like you're not up to par. Those are the kind of things that sometimes can really begin to zap our joy. So tonight, that's something I really want us to just take a moment and begin to just look on the inside of ourselves and begin to say something good about yourself. Even as we're sitting here on the broadcast tonight, take the time, close your eyes, take a deep breath, and begin to say something great about yourself, because I want you to know that you are wonderful. The Bible tells me that you are beautiful and you're wonderfully made. So if you don't hear that from anybody else, you've heard that from me. That's a positive thing that can be said about you, that you are beautiful and you're wonderfully made. Amen. And that's something that sometimes as women we have to take a step back and begin to just say those things to ourselves, that I am beautiful, I am wonderful, I'm smart, I have wisdom. Begin to use all these wonderful adjectives about yourself, because it helps to build you up. And even if you don't feel that way, the old saying is fake it till you make it. Well, fake it until you make it. Just keep saying it about yourself every day. Have you some words on your mirror in the morning that tell you how beautiful you are, that tell you how successful you are, that tell you how, prosperous you are. You want to be able to say those things to yourself, because if you're not saying it to yourself and you're listening to what somebody else says, then you can find yourself without joy. Okay, so tell yourself these things on a daily basis, that you are beautiful, you're wonderful, and find, just if it's just one thing, just one thing, just that one thing, just the one positive word throughout the day can give you such a great level of joy. So tonight, that's really what I wanted to just tell us. I'm not going to stay on long. I just want us to be able to know that there are those things that can zap our joy. Again, complaining, procrastination, gossip, approval seeking, not keeping your word, and negative self-talk. Those are things that zap your joy. Now, ladies, I know there's not a lot of you on here tonight, but I want you to know at 12 o'clock tonight, I want you to come back on Facebook Live, and I'm going to be doing a prayer it's called the Crossing Over Prayer. It's 31. We're doing 31 days of joy declarations. So what I endeavor to do is to cause women to, before they go to bed at night, to get the word of the Lord that will cause them to have joy for the next day. I want you to be able to be built up. No, it's not my first time on on Periscope, but yes, this is things that you really would like for you to be able to do, is to hear the word of the Lord, declare what God would have for you for the next day, because we want to cross over. We want to cross over into the new things that God has for us. So if you come back at 12 o'clock at night on Facebook Live, on my page on the Joy Jewel, you'll be able to come in, and I'm going to definitely put that in the link, so that if you'd like to come in, please do so. Share it with other women. Share it with people, because again, this is an opportunity to pray into our next day. Many times we don't cover ourselves the way we need to cover ourselves, and this is the opportunity to do that. So I want you to come in on that broadcast, and for those of you who are on the line and you haven't been with me before, I ask that you go to bit.ly, bit.ly/cultivating joy, and get your 7 ways to cultivate joy, and become a part of the movement of women who are endeavoring to walk in joy. So that is our broadcast for tonight. I thank you all for joining in. And again, we're going to come back at 12 o'clock midnight, and we'll be praying again and crossing over into our new day and walking in joy. So thank you so much for being with me tonight, and I will see you on Wednesday. Bye-bye.